Hello, and welcome to some 475 of Prog Review. And today I is talking about 984 Anthony Phillips. This is the Deluxe edition, but we'll do the whole thing. Yeah. But then, it's been recently reissued. If you're watching this in the future, it was originally released back in June 1981. And Anthony Phillips, you knew, if you're not familiar, he was the prime guitarist in Genesis. He was their first, I suppose you could call him, founder member of the Genesis. And here he is in 1981 doing the unthinkable. What's that? He's doing a concept album about George Orwell's 1984. Look at the cover. No Pete Cross, no squirrels or snails or pastoral images. Look at that. It's a cage, an open cage. That's what they put the rat in the cage onto Winston Smith's face. I don't know if you are familiar with 1984. I presume totalitarian state, Big Brother, everyone's watching you. Double speak and rats eating faces. And there it is. Look, there it is. So, concept album, 1981. George Orwell, 1984. Now, what would you imagine the music contained herein would be like? What would you imagine? If it's about 1984, very oppressive. All about, like I say, it's all about thought crimes, sex crimes, rats in cages, breaking people's spirits. It's about Big Brother constantly watching. It's very oppressive, isn't it? Very oppressive. So how would you imagine the music would be? And that is the missus making sure I'm not having the orgy today. And I'm back in the room. So yeah, a dark, oppressive novel. What do you think the music's like? Would it be like industrial, dark, moody? You could imagine that, couldn't you? Really dark, regimental kind of thudding, deep, dark sounds to illustrate the turmoil of the lead protagonist, Winston Smith, as he fights inadvertently against the system. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that kind of music? Well, that's not this album at all. It's synthesizer based, and it's so bloody jolly. It is. It's a very jolly little number. It's all da, 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 and it's got this incessant, one of those early drum machines. Again, this is an album out of time. One, it shouldn't be a concept album. It should be Anthony Phillips Goes Electronic or something. It shouldn't be called 1984. Because it makes no fucking sense as an album. It is like, doesn't make any sense. I've never understood it. And then you've got, like I said, all this electronic stuff, and it's very, very hard. I like electronic music, don't get me wrong. I like the electronica music. But there's this drum machine that just pulses through it and really gets, it's like a loose tooth. It niggles me. And this bloody keyboard, this synthesizer he uses. It's just a horrible record. Even if it wasn't called 1984, even if it was something else, he might have got away with it if it was, I don't know, released in 1976 or 1977, when this kind of music was in vogue, when extended electronic synthesizer albums were coming into style. He may have just about to wing it, but this is just, I've never liked this album. And this is Anthony Phillips, somebody I really like and admire, and his music is something I get. But every band, whether it's Genesis or Eat Queen, everyone has their hot space. This is Anthony Phillips' hot space for me. I hate it. I absolutely hate this album. It is just a whole bowl of wrong. It's just horrible. And but I know there are a lot of people that like it. Good for you. I'm glad it's you and not me. I much prefer his more ambient electronica stuff, slow wave, soft stars, which comes a bit later. But yeah, this record, I mean, I've got it on vinyl. It's like, what the were you thinking? What were you thinking? It's like he's got a load of stuff, he's got a load of music, and oh look, 1984's coming. Let's call it that, and then people might buy it because they think it's something to do with, you know. You're better off listening to a Eurythmics album. Do you remember? See what I'm getting? See what I'm alluding to? Because they did a song for the movie version of 1984 with John Hurt and Richard Burton. I don't know if you've seen that. It's very good. Very depressing. But yeah, I don't like it. So anyway, that sets me up for a review of the Deluxe edition. Yeah, the Deluxe edition. It is great. It is the best version of this album you can ever get. But why did you put it in this bloody thing? Why did you... All the others came in a clamshell box, and they go for a bleeding digipack. Clamshell boxes, the other ones. If you're a little bit OCD, this is just going to stick out on the shelf. It's like, why didn't you do the others as but you had no clamshell box, digipack, clamshell box. Oh, that's my main gripe out of the way. The packaging, can't bloody could have put it in just in a clamshell, just like the others, matching, make a match. So anyway, you get the first CDs, all new stereo mix. It still sounds fucking rotten to me. Don't make any fucking difference. Excuse my French. I should quack these out. I ain't quacked them out for a long time. Then you get a second CD, which is was reissued on the previous reissue. So you're getting more of the same. If you bought the previous one, you don't need to buy this because you've already heard this in 2008. See, they just keep giving you the same stuff over again. And then, of course, the pièce de résistance is the surround sound mix, where you can hear these horrible synthesizers and drum machine bounce around the stereo surround sound spectrum. Yeah, it's an alright mix. You can really hear the synthesizers. You can really hear the drum machine. You get right in the middle of it. And yeah, and that's it really. At least the subwoofer works this time. Yeah. Not like Wise after the event. I'm still wanting to acknowledge that they didn't mix the subwoofer bit. You know, no bass at all. Hey, this is a good idea. Let's not put any bass on it. No one else has mentioned it. I'm just the only one that's going to keep on going on about it. So yeah. So if you do like 1984, you're going to love this. But if you bought the 2008 one, sorry, you're not going. You don't. No need, unless you really want the 5.1 surround sound mix, which is okay. It's, you know, it serves a purpose. It does what it does. But personally, this, you can't polish a turd, can you? You can't make a purse out of a sow's ear. That's all I got. That's all I've got. And I know that progressive rock fans all around the world are throwing their shoes at the screen at me and are very upset because I've said something bad about this album. But guess what? It's just an opinion. You may not have heard this album. It may make you go and listen to the album. Remember, it's just what I think. You tell me in the comment box below why you think this is a great album and how it relates in any way to 1984 with the Cage Rat Facebox thing. Facebox. That could be a website. Somebody register that. Facebox. So I'm done. Oh, I've got to give it a rating. I'm going to give this one Rat Facebox Cage out of 5. That's one Rat Facebox Cage out of 5. It's just awful. It is awful. It is terrible. Even if it wasn't about even if it wasn't meant to be a concept album about 1984, it'd still be a pretty weak album in the catalogue of Anthony Phillips. There are some nice bits on it. There's some nice, but it's too much. It's just too. It grinds me down. Ugh. Make it stop. Make it stop. It's like a dripping tap. It's Chinese water torture of the audio variety. And on that, I think we'll end it. There's only one more thing to say apart from Darren Locke. I've been talking about. Whoops, 1984 by Anthony Phillips, the deluxe edition for Esoteric Records. And thank you, Matthew, for sending this over. And that's it. Only one more thing to say, and that is Prog on. And I'm watching you. It's a big brother.